What you just heard was a quick update about some of the really exciting developments that have taken place in downtown Tiffin in the last year and a half or so, and a little bit about the way we approach downtown revitalization with all of our partners and volunteers, the Main Street 4-point approach. What I'd like to do is make a couple comments about Main Street before I dive into setting the stage for today's event. The first is that there are about 1,000 communities across the country that are actively using the Main Street approach to downtown revitalization. And through those efforts, they've helped since 1980 to bring $62 billion with a B dollars of new investment into the downtowns across America. That has resulted in 120,000 new businesses going in and 500,000 new jobs since 1980. So it is an approach that works, and it's an approach we as a Main Street affiliate are working to apply to become full status and believe in this approach very much. There are over 20 communities in Ohio that are actively using this approach, and there was a story within the last couple of months about Findlay becoming the latest Ohio Main Street community. So I want to set the stage for our downtown planning efforts and kind of get you in the context by going back and saying that really downtown planning in this community, from my perspective, really started in about 1975. There were three main periods. 1975, something happened. Over the course of 18 months, there were 5 major fires in the city of Tiffin, and 4 of them were in downtown, causing multi-million dollars worth of damage. You had the Shawn Hotel up in flames, you had the Laird Arcade, you had the building where currently the Tiffin Charitable Foundation is, and where the city lot is south of that were apartment buildings. Tons of damage, and people in town got together and said, how can we make sure to do whatever we can to preserve these buildings? So in October of 1976, the Tiffin Historic Trust was formed, and also Ken Davidson, who I didn't see here tonight, but I've seen people that know Ken, hired a regional historic preservationist by the name of Barbara Howe, who over the next 6 years helped this community, and so that we can say today that there are 300 buildings in Tiffin that are somehow on the National Historic Register. That is an incredible accomplishment, and also opens the door for incentives and tax credits and other things to help make things happen. It's one of the reasons Tiffin has been so successful. In 1977, the Ohio Main Street program was formed. There were 220 communities that applied who were eager to really revitalize their downtown, and Tiffin, Ohio was one of them. I always talk to my friend Mary Lewis, who was there, as many of you also were. We were a finalist, but we weren't selected. But that became really the beginning of a relationship with Main Street that has gone on for almost 40 years. Fast forward to the mid-late 90s. In 1994, the city of Tiffin did a big comprehensive plan update. That's the community development plan. And there was in there a downtown development strategy. At SIEDC, we believe that you plan the work and you work the plan and good things happen. And we saw that over the next few years, there were some major transformative projects that took place in the downtown. You had Old Fort Bank renovating a building. You had the Shawn Hotel between 1996 and 1999. It was a $4 million renovation project. You had the Ritz Theater in 1998, beautiful renovation of the Ritz Theater. You had the Tiffin Glass Museum opening in 1999. And Sharon Goshi, and I saw her here tonight, purchased the Clover Club also in 1999. So beginning of people getting focused, strategy, and good things starting to happen. Fast forward to the last 5 or 6 years, so it's kind of like a roller coaster. All of that momentum got us to the top of the hill, and what's happened in the last 6 years has been nothing short of amazing. So they didn't stop with the 1994 plan. This community got together and said, we need to kick it up a notch. We need a Main Street strategic plan. And in 2008, through a number of different funding sources, public and private, the community got phase 1 of a strategic plan done. What this plan did is it assessed all the existing conditions, the buildings, the businesses, the public infrastructure, and it put together a big, broad brushstroke, 17 major objectives to work on to revitalize the downtown. People got excited. It was a great project, and they decided, okay, what we want to do is we want to kick it up a notch. People around me hear that a lot. They decided to intensify the effort, invest more money, and do phase 2 of that planning effort. So what did it do? In addition to doing that existing conditions and 17 big picture items, you heard Amy talk about 124 action items that we're still using today, and really appreciate all the work that Amy and all the committees are doing to accomplish that. Half of it's been accomplished, working on 30 plus items right now. In addition, it came up with a master plan. So given all the available properties and all the available projects that were underway, what were the 6 to 9 catalytic projects that could be done? There was an urban design concept plan which kind of laid out the framework, and again 6 to 9 projects were developed. So great, action plan, strategy, what has happened? I don't have time to go through all of the exciting things, so I'm going to summarize it with 3 major areas of change. First, we've had a lot of exciting leadership and organizational changes, some due to the plan and some just due to the fortunate circumstances. We had a lot of changes on City Council and a new mayor. All 3 commissioners, since the plan was first presented, are new. We have a new state representative, Bo Reinecke, who was very involved in downtown Tiffin. We have a new president of Heidelberg University, who did our welcoming comments. A new 2009, John Detweiler joined the chamber, and to head that up, a new regional, I saw Roxanne Burris here, we have a new regional planning person for the entire county, and 4 of the 5 current staff members of SIEDC are completely new. Organizationally, Amy talked about the fact that the plan created, out of the plan came Tiffin Tomorrow, which is a group of dedicated people to begin to implement that plan, and they did that. And then last year, we at SIEDC were fortunate to be able to integrate that into the overall efforts of what we're trying to do and join our forces and try to leverage the financial resources and the staff resources and everything else to focus on downtown. You had the creation also from the plan of the Tiffin Community Reinvestment Group. Amy talked about the success of the Laird. It's absolutely amazing. That is another success story of local investors pooling their money together to do big, huge projects that otherwise would not have got done. And then last but certainly not least, the head of our marketing, John Detweiler right here, took tourism and the marketing of everything in 2009 into the chamber, and again leveraging his strengths and the strengths of that organization. So over 20 different leadership and organizational changes, and that's not even in the private sector. That's just public, nonprofit, not for-profit. So you add that, you have tens and hundreds of changes going on just in the last 5 years. Then you look at what I call the bookends of the downtown. Less than a third of the mile, we have 2 wonderful universities. What you see is 16 of the 17 plus construction projects that both universities have undertaken since 2009. We're talking $50 million in new investment at both universities. And the level of engagement of both universities in the downtown is unprecedented. So they're not just working because they've been incredibly successful in pushing universities forward. They want to be arm in arm with everybody working on downtown in a way that's never been seen before. Second big change, education, leadership education. And last, wow, new businesses, new real estate purchases, incredible amount of exciting things going on that if you add them all up in the last 4 years, 5 years, 50 new businesses, Amy talked about 17 facade enhancements alone in the last year, new businesses, new properties, etc. If you take a map, and I know it's a little hard to read, but there's tons of little dots on there. And what this is, and this is a key impetus for the development of this Phase 3 plan, the Downtown Strategic Growth and Development Plan, which we call the Downtown Development Plan, is because there is tons of new property in play and all these changes that have happened. So if you look at what the city of Tiffin has purchased, if you look at the former livery and Stallsworth building, that was done. Richfield and Karen Bowers did the All Patriots Memorial and the property development on the north end. You have Andrew Kellnow, I saw him here tonight, and East Tower LC buying the East Tower and the property across the street. You have an unprecedented letter of intent and memorandum of understanding between the county and the city on major projects that are going to take place with respect to the Joint Justice Center and potential Joint Government Center and green space. There's all this great stuff going on. And so what we had is that in October of last year, the city decided to make a strategic investment, and give a lot of credit to the administration and to City Council to invest another $120,000 to kick it up a notch and take that Phase 2 plan and go to Phase 3, which is we need to update the master plan, but not only that, we need to really drill down on what the critical issues are that will help facilitate or are blocking significant private investment into downtown Tiffin and or public-private partnerships. And so that process started in the fall of last year. We had a steering committee, we had stakeholder meetings. This Downtown Summit is one of the key events in that timeline. We also, leading up to this summit, you may have seen in a partnership with the Advertiser Tribune and over social media, did a quick survey. What is the climate? How do people feel about the downtown? Well, 3 out of 4 people think downtown is going in a great direction. 3 out of 4 people come to downtown at least once a week. and half of those more than once a week. Biggest challenge that we heard was parking. People feel, how do I navigate, how do I find it? And then other challenges were, public transit, issues, one-way, two-way streets. We heard appearance of the buildings, other key issues that we heard, some of which will get addressed tonight by these experts. It's one reason you get to hear, and then in the panel discussion, engage them on critical issues, concerns, and questions that you have. What about the opportunities? Retail, food, events, housing. We recently had our dinner to talk about housing night. So people see that there are a lot of opportunities in the downtown, and even more now that all this great stuff is happening. So welcome to the Downtown Summit. This is going to be an incredibly exciting time. At this stage, you are going to be getting critical information, becoming part of this process. This is not a SIEDC process. This is not a City of Tiffin process. This is our community. This is everybody working together. So welcome, and welcome to I think it's a celebration party. So let's keep going. Thank you.